we're back to Game 4 of Legend of the Clan 2022. We're at a tipping point now. We've got a 2-1 lead to the reigning champion, Theo. Now, if Theo wins this game, he takes the series. However, if he loses this game, we go to a 2-2. Theo still has a life up his sleeve. He could play that in the next round. Try and draw this out to a first to four series. But right now, Sterling's got a bit of an uphill battle here. Very close game last one. Sterling unfortunately died early in a bit of a one-on-one with Theo, but then Theo died and the bots took over. There was a large lead for Sterling in the last game, more caps than Theo had, but in this one, I don't think that mistake's going to happen. I think there'll be a lot more conservative play here, and I think we'll see the caps evenly distributed. All right, spawn change for both of them. We've got Sterling at the Alpha spawn in the north, and we've got Theo at the Bravo spawn in the south. Usual opening for the bots is for them to run to Alpha, get those first caps in. We tend to see that the DDs charge each other, and more often than not, it's the Alpha lightning that cops it in the first gun battle. But from there, it's been pretty random. We haven't seen a lot of typical bot play. There's a few opening moves you'd see in chess that are pretty standard, and that's what we're seeing here. But after that, it's been very random. Now, last two games, we saw both challengers head off to sea by themselves, calling in their support, but really trying to get that first cap. Not sure if that's going to happen this game, but I think one of the things that Sterling learnt from the last one is don't go alone. He held the cap very well. In fact, he got the cap, but overwhelmingly the bot force and Theo held him out. Basically pushed him out of the cap and took him down with focus fire. Okay, we see Theo doing the stream off to sea. He isn't changing his strat at all. Hasn't called over any of his fleet yet. But this time, Sterling staying with the fleet. Big fleet movement. In the opening game, which Sterling won, he used a push strat from B to A. Worked extremely well. I'm wondering if he's returning to those sorts of plans. And we'll see here what sort of support he'll try and give his lightning, which is often wanted to YOLO. In fact, this is interesting. This is the first time it's happened all series. The lightning has veered away, taking a slightly different angle. I wonder if some sort of control is happening there from Sterling. No, it's returning on course. I think he probably tried to call it away, but at the end of the day, it's going to the nearest cap as it's probably programmed to. Meanwhile, we see Theo not steaming at full pace to Charlie direct line, but off to the island side, trying to do a little bit of what Sterling did last game. Sort of use that island as a bit of cover, but it's interesting that he's doing that given what happened to Sterling, where he got trapped and eventually killed. Sterling remaining at Bravo this time, supporting his lightning and Hipper, meanwhile sending the bulk of his force straight over to Charlie. So it'll be all bots against Theo. Theo's throwing some torps out, precautionary there, sort of randomizing it. And we've got our first bot battle going on over here. Lightning pulling away this time for Sterling's side, not YOLOing as it typically does. So he's a little bit more conservative this time. And same for Theo's side. He's pulled back his Hipper and his two DDs, not charging in. Good use of smoke for the Hipper. Not much damage from either side. Two caps apiece. Slight point advantage for the Alpha spawn for Sterling, because they usually get a few more vessels in faster. All right, Theo, now definitely going for that cap. Don't know if you can see anything yet. Oh, surely he would by now, because the Baltimore's guns have gone off, or the AAs have gone off. He set off the ASW trying to trigger it. He's worked out that, yep, there is something there. Sent some torps up. It's not a bad strat, that. Don't know if they'll make the distance, but who knows. And he has comfortably got into Charlie cap uncontested so far. Torps have missed and stopped. Kagero and Baltimore coming back around. They'll probably see Theo in a moment. Secondaries will go off. I know Theo's opened up. Tried to get a salvo onto Baltimore. It didn't help. Didn't get the Citadel he probably hoped for. And they veered away. Comfortably gets the Charlie cap, and Theo moves ahead 2 caps to 1. Now we have to see Sterling make some changes. He is pushing by himself into Alpha Cap. This is a bit of a risk. He really has to do something. Big hit on the Vladivostok for Theo's side there. Not sure where that shell came from, but massive hit. And Sterling has decided to try and get her to fire. At the same time as engage 3 other ships, 2 DDs and a Hipper inside Alpha Cap. I think he was relying on Theo being at Charlie, and he is taking it upon himself to go lone wolf and try and cap and take out more than half the fleet. Very ballsy, very ballsy. He's taken some damage, but he's done very, very well. The Vladivostok in the middle is in a bit of trouble, but still handling it quite well. Theo's Baltimore doing what the southern spawn Baltimore tends to do, and is wandering into the middle of the map again, amazingly staying undamaged. Theo sitting calmly behind the island, pulling back up, probably getting a view on things before he starts some crossfire, and has turned his guns to Sterling. I think he saw the plot. Sterling taking a hit but absorbing it really well. Vladivostok in the middle looking like it's going down. Sterling pushing out the enemy fleet from Alpha. He's not going to get the cap for a while there, but you know what? He's doing very well, and there goes the first ship in the game. It's the Vladivostok for Theo. Big loss there. It's usually the DDs. And cap points now being taken away from Theo while Sterling sits in cap. His lightning has caught up to him. Obvious will start helping doing the work. Secondary is doing a good job pushing Hipper and Kagero away, as well as lightning. Torp's not seeming to be a threat at this point in time. Sterling turning out, and we can see here that the bot fleet has now bottlenecked Theo over at the Charlie cap. His Baltimore overextending, very much at risk. And this could have been the mistake that Theo could have avoided, because this is what we saw in a slightly reverse pattern to Sterling last game. Having said that, point score pretty even so far. We can see that the cap's coming up for Sterling. Still not anchored it yet, getting a lot of secondary fire on him, resetting those caps. Lightning getting secondary fire because it's opened up as well. But there is a cap change coming, and I dare say Theo's Baltimore will die very soon. Way out in the open, 5,600, 4,300. It is going, and we see that Theo and his Amagi are stuck in the middle, actually rammed into each other. And his Botamagi pushing him along. Theo charging back to A, doing his level best now to try and get onto Sterling. Sterling taking a lot of damage, down to 25,000. He needs some cover. There's no more smoke of lightning at the moment, but he is running and running and running. He did get the cap. He got the cap points. He's done his job. He needs to get out of there. That lightning, on the other hand, seems to have a permafire on it. I don't think it's going to survive, and there we have it, the Baltimore for Theo's down. At this point in time, Sterling is in the lead, but he's taken a risk and taken a lot of damage. I think what we see here now is that we've got to get his bot fleet, or he's got to make his bot fleet get to that Charlie cap. Now, fortunately, his Kagero, undamaged, is lined up, uncontested, going to Charlie. The real problem for Sterling is getting out of Alpha now that Theo knows exactly where he is, and so has his support Amagi, who's pulling away surprisingly. Now, Sterling really needs to stay dark, but it hasn't happened. He is going to get fired upon from the returning bot fleet that's gone south. As Theo charges into point-blank range into Alpha, we see a point lead almost at 200, going over 200 points for Sterling right now. He's really laying it on the line here. He has to hold this cap. He's allowing his bots to do what they need to do. Unfortunately for Theo, his Amagi's run away would have been helpful support for him, but Sterling is taking a major risk here in charging down Theo. He is really not sure what he's doing here, because if he goes down, he has to rely on his bots winning this, and that was not a good strategy last time. Big hits onto Sterling, 6,000 points. He is YOLOing in there. He is trying for a torp hit. Theo on much better health. He is getting focused by the other bots, the DDs. He's on fire. There is no way he can survive this. He's got tops off. They'll miss. Theo's been pushed out, but the point score has collapsed a bit during that, and Sterling is gone. Theo on very healthy HP there. Did manage to push him out. The Kagero got into Charlie. Oh, massive hit on Theo. Looks like one of the bots got a really good shot on him there. I would say probably 40, 50,000 damage, but Theo will have a heal. He'll shake it off. He'll go back at the alpha cap. Having said that, we see that the Kagero bot for Sterling got in, took C cap. At this point in time, all caps covered by Sterling. Let's see if he is going to pull off the bot force survival. There is a good chance at this point with 3 caps. However, the Kagero is powering back up there to Alpha. Alpha will go down. Bots are covering Bravo and Charlie reasonably well. Perhaps he will do it. 1 minute 36 on the clock. He's taken a real calculated risk here. Kagero and Theo together will get Alpha back reasonably quickly. This will slow the clock, probably put 2 minutes back on. Amagi coming up the middle here. Vladivostok covering it. Baltimore covering Bravo. All random roll of the dice stuff now. Okay, they're in Bravo. They've slowed the clock to 1 minute 45. Amagi getting some fire across all bots that are remaining. Each side level, 2 ships lost apiece. Amagi powering into Bravo, and interestingly, nothing going to Bravo to cover it. 1 minute 27. Good 200 points ahead. Amagi took a big hit on Theo's side there, but still not enough damage on it. We really need to see some hits here. Vladivostok finally opening fire. Good broadside. No. Oh, no, he got a hit. First shot missed. Second shot hit Amagi. This is now a case of can we keep Amagi out? 1 minute left to go. Amagi's turned away from the cap. Theo and his DD, his Kagero, powering up there. Amagi taking more hits. Sterling looking ever more certain to take this round. 50 seconds left. No one going to Bravo cap. Point score going up. I think this is going to go Sterling's way. His gamble has paid off. Amagi under heavy fire, no longer pursuing the Bravo cap. 30 seconds left on the clock. Doubts that Theo can reach it in time at the speed he's at. The Kagero's not even overtaking the Zeton. I'm calling it. It's going to be 2-2 to Sterling. What a play. Very worthy of the final. Gambling on the bots, but doing it in such a way that he had displaced the fleet so heavily and really pulled Theo out of the Charlie battle so that his DD that was lined up for the cap could just cruise on in. Well done to Sterling.